It's almost a bad question to ask because it's inevitable that a lot of people won't be in the greatest shape. If you can hear me, welcome to our space. Ghana losing a World Cup opener yet again. So, in the history of the World Cup, the Black Stars, by the 2010 opener against Serbia, which the Black Stars won by a goal to nil, in the four opening games of the FIFA World Cup, the Black Stars have lost all of them. Today, mixed feelings. This was a team that showed that it could match up to the very best in the world, but a team that highlighted a lot of the things that said by African teams. I don't like generalizing, but you saw a team that lost concentration in key moments, a team that scored a goal and then dropped his guard unduly quickly, a team that showed a bit of tactical naivety in a moment when he needed to be calm and solid, and a team that ended up losing a game that realistically they should have managed to get a result out of. The rules will be fairly simple. You will request to speak, and then I would let you in. We're going to keep it simple, nice, up to around 6:50 so that we can all go back and tackle other things. So I'm just wondering who wants to go first. I think I've got a request here. Maxwell, you have the floor. So as I wait for you, all of you, I'll wait for the request to come in. Let me just quickly give you what I thought were the important moments. I thought that we were, for long spells, we were quite solid at the back. I'm not sure how that was a penalty, but you don't brood over those things. I also think we got away with one in the goal that Ronaldo scored in the first half that was disallowed. So it works both ways. I thought Kudus after the initial nerves was absolutely brilliant. I don't understand why he was taken off so quickly. And I thought, the right back was excellent. The Ali Dusaid was excellent. Now, overall, as I mentioned, a lot of positives. It remains clear that up front we don't have it. Fade game for Inaki Williams in the Ghana shirt. He's not scored. He's not looked at his best. So a lot of things I think need to change. Let me go over to those who I have accepted to have their say. Gilbertson, you are on.
Michael, thank you for this opportunity. I'm so down. I don't know how Inaki just slept like that. It's just crazy. Uh, Look, I don't really know either it was a tactical reason or because Kudo had a yellow card. That is why Otuado brought him out. Because I just don't understand. Because I felt like we were still in the game after the day you equalized, but I just don't know what happened. He took him off, and Baba Rahman commits the biggest blunder I've seen this season. And the third goal, I don't know either it was offside or not. Before, like I could just even count where three goals to one. I just couldn't believe it. Like how did it just happen? And we got the second goal, and Bukali was going to do see. Are you fucking kidding me? We are down by three goals to
When
one.
we
We
were
just
chasing the game.
you are chasing the game. You're going to do so. What the fuck are you doing? You go back to the net. You pick the ball. We go back to start the play. You are going to do sweep. Who, who are you going to do the sweep for? I'm. I'm just lost of. And why wasn't a VAR check for the penalty? Why wasn't there like it was like a 50-50 ball? Man,
A
I'm
lot of
just.
questions. Let me go and listen to the other lamentations. Look, we are going to be lamenting like the whole day. We are going to be lamenting the whole day. Real Mighty, you are also on. You can have your say, please, Real.
All right, so I don't know, but I'm just dumbfounded and I don't know what to do because this game, we were supposed to win this game. Well, if you look at the way everything went, we were supposed to win this game. And I don't know how clueless Otto Addo is, but I just want to say that that sub was needless. That sub was really needless because you have your playmaker, you have your key man in the game who is creating more chances and doing his best to push the ball forward. And just after a goal, you remove your two key players from the game. And I don't know which coach does that. and you know that you are still you need a win, and these are the key guys in the game, and you remove them, and you are expecting that you win. Like I just don't know. I don't even know what to say. And as my brother was saying, that celebration from Osman Bukari was very needless, because you are down, and instead of you to carry the ball and then continue passing whatever, you are just there. You are going to celebrate. That's why nobody followed him. Nobody followed him, because it was very needless, and also I think it's quite disrespectful in a way. But all I want to say is that going into the next game, I believe Otuado should get his tactics right. He should bench Baba Rahman. How I don't understand why Baba Rahman will play 100 minutes. I don't know, when he's had a very 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 bad game, even from the first half. So I just hope that the next games will be better. Yeah.
All right. I think that's the hope of everybody. Look, um, sometimes you want to pick positives and you want to pick positives and you want to pick positives, but there is too many stories of teams showing up at the World Cup, dropping their guard for a second, and getting heavily punished. And everything, even with the penalty, you can dispute the call, but Ronaldo was going nowhere. So there was no need to try to nick the ball from him at that moment, I thought. I thought Baba Rahman should have cleared that second goal. It's just the key areas. There were key moments where you expect your team to be rock solid. I thought in the first half the defenders were really good. I thought the three backs of Amate, Jiku, and the other gentleman were really good. So I'm not sure where it went wrong for us. So I don't know. Let me listen to some of you now. Hubert, you want to have your say? The floor is yours. Hello, Hubert Bwedi.
Hello.
Yeah, Hubert, you have the floor,
what
please.
I go talk, we say, looking at the group now, looking at the group now, it's quite open. Ghana, yes, we lost. I believe, say, the coach, as it takes us, don't do well. You don't do well.
Right.
Because
So what you think? What you think
on a
for this
player
next
where
game?
you see the impact where if you hold ball. Are you there? Now you know if you hold the ball safe. So I believe, say, when our next matches, if the coach, if you keep Kudus give us, if you do well, give us, if you hold the ball, give us, then we'll add some players. Then I use Charlie. We are tired of them, Charlie. Make them bench them, give you small, Charlie.
Yeah, but one scored a really good goal for you. Give credit where it's due. Anyway, let me go to a number of you still on asking to speak. I've seen my good friend Kafui Day, presenter on GTV. Kafui, are you going to go on the show tomorrow with a smile on your face? Well, he's unrequested to speak. Dankwa, we spoke this morning. You are back on. What do you think, please?
Yeah, hello, Michael. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I think in the morning I didn't mention that Ronaldo might get a penalty, and eventually he actually did get a penalty. So it's frustrating that we had to lose this way. We definitely could have gotten a draw, but then again, I was very specific on who plays again. Why is Baba Rahman starting? I don't know what you guys think, but I don't think there's any way he should be starting over Gideon Mensah in any way. There's no reason to be playing that guy. And I mean, he did have quite a good game, but he was poor. He was poor, and it should be treasonous for Otuado to even think of starting in the next game. There's no reason he should be starting. All in all, I mean, we're a bit sad. We can look at the positive. We don't have to overanalyze it too much. I think maybe the next game you'll get selections right. And again, what they are used. I mean, of course, they pull out for us. But I mean, Jordan, come on. I mean, it was a very poor ball to lose, especially in the center. And we could have done better, far better, far better. And I do hope in our next game we'll make the right selection, and then maybe the game plan might be a better attacking. I understand what he had to do in the first half. It was good. It was good. Maybe in the next game we can do better. So.
All right. Thank you, Dankwa. And I get a sense from you that whilst you're disappointed, you picked quite a lot of positives from this. Let me go to KB. KB, you're on, please. And then after KB, I will come to you, Benjamin. So be online, please. KB, you've got a floor.
Hi, I'm KB. Thanks for having me. Mine is, I think, Otua, though, probably the tactics wise, I mean, he can just look at from his game like, okay, we can defend from the first half and then probably, do something. But I think the defensive side of the game, he got to really, I don't know, messed up. Like, it wasn't right. The tactics wasn't right. Baba Abdul Rahman shouldn't have even gotten the nod ahead of Gideon. So I think, and in the midfield, to whoever was playing, Pate too wasn't playing good. I think he has to do something with the midfield. It wasn't really good, and then I think he has to switch, certain things in the second game. But we played really poorly. It wasn't to the best of the game.
I get you. And what do you think needs to change in the next game if Ghana is to get anything out of it?
What needs to be changed actually is probably he has to. South Korea should be an open game. He shouldn't go on that defensive-minded approach. He has to switch the defense. Probably play 4-2-3-1, and then drop Baba Rahman and bring in Lamte. And what's my color? The striker too has to get a little bit support too, because the first half he didn't. I think he had fewer touches than all the players on the pitch.
I don't know. For me, that was like a really, really, really interesting and close game. Thank you very much, KB, for joining us. Benjamin, I said you are next. You've got a floor, please. Hello. Benjamin. Yeah, Benjamin.
Hello, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. Actually, I would like to talk about a few tactics. I think he had it wrong. The first, as everybody was saying, picking Babarama ahead of Gideon Mensah was the first note that we had. But actually, I really like today's game because this is the first time for a long time I think we had a plan, and the plan was to defend deep and go on a counter break. But we know we have a pacey striker, and we failed to give him a close, accurate range for him to do the runnings after the defenders. We did a lot, giving offside, offshows, ball, and other stuff. We couldn't target our main man, the one we are focusing. That is the mistake I think we were committing. But in the nutshell, I think we did better because today we had a game plan that we did. The unfortunate incident was that before we equalized, after we equalized the game, we were supposed to switch back to our normal. Our normal tactics that we were using, but it seems the players were too excited about the equalizer. They tend to open up the game for the Portugal. There is no way you can open up a game to this Portugal squad. Bernardo Silva alone, he can make few changes, few dribblings, and skip a lot of Ghanaian players out of the field. So we were supposed to give a close game as we started in the first half. We did well, but just some few touches I think the coach has to work on. Better still, we can do open game as someone suggested against Korea. That's the maximum points we can get from there. Other than that, I don't see Ghana moving extend to the group stage. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Benjamin. Thank you for keeping it straight. Kay, you are next, please. And after Kay, I think in order of those who have been on, I will go to another Benjamin. Sir Benjamin. So after Kay, I will come to you. So Kay, if you're ready, let's go. And then after you, I will go to Benjamin. Hello, Kay. If Kay is not ready, Sir Benjamin, you can have your say, please.
Okay, so basically, I think we started with a game plan with a 5-back. Okay, the same way we knew what Portugal was capable of, they also knew what we are capable of. So they came in, and if you watch the first 2 minutes, they didn't even cross the half point. They kept it in their zone. They played the triangle offense, 3-3-3-3, help side every time. They were just wearing us out. So they knew very well that our team, as much as we wanted defense, we didn't have enough people who were in condition enough. Okay, so when we equalized the game and we get out of the 5 back, guess what? It opened up for them. Then they started doing what they do best: the counter offense, the long
So your
ball.
suggestion is that we seem to have dropped our guard when we equalized.
Exactly. We just played because if you realize the first half, they were not even pushing. They were just passing the ball, making sure we are out of shape. So when they got the chance, now when the 5 back moved away, guess what? They just penetrated and started moving. Until we're in condition that we could play the same way they did, the coach did the best he could do. I mean, you can dispute the foul, but don't forget that it's the same foul they called on Cristiano Ronaldo on his first goal that was disallowed. They called a foul that he had pushed the guy, and the same way this guy pushed him. So the referee called it fairly.
I understand. I don't really want to dwell on it so much.
Yes.
Yeah.
So basically, when we got out of the 5 back, that's what opened us up. We gotta know.
Yeah.
We gotta know our opponents. That's all it is.
Thank you very much. You've laid it out nicely for me. And are you still confident, though, that this is a team capable of going through to the next stage?
Yeah, we still can do something. I mean, the Koreans played very interesting today, so we got to be in shape. We got to read. We got to know what to react to. Okay,
and especially be disciplined.
Exactly.
It's so important for me. At that level, top level players will punish you.
Exactly. That's all.
For the second goal, you drop your concentration. I mean, look how easily they went back in front when we had scored. When you're able to hold your line and frustrate them a bit with every minute that passes, the nerves will begin to crankle and then players begin to misplace passes. But when we equalize, we almost seem to drop our heads and then we allow them back in, which is such a basic error at the international level.
Well, Portugal plays just like Spain, okay? But if you realize when they started the game, they were playing very, very slow. They were not even running, okay?
Yeah.
And all they were doing was that, getting us out of shape. The moment we got comfortable, he opened the middle. That's all they needed to do.
I mean, they really play at this whole match. The worst player of the Bukari. How can you score second goal when we are down 3-1 and go and do you? They have to open this guy's ass and lash him. They have to lash this guy.
Benjamin, you had the floor. I had not requested the gentleman to speak when he went off the chain on that. I'm going to go to some other speakers. Kafui, I'll come to you in a bit. Let me go to Prince Warren. Prince Warren, you have the floor.
Oh, all right. Thank you for having me here.
Yeah.
I think I just have a few things I want to touch on.
All right, please go ahead.
In the first half, we had a plan. I think we controlled the game very well. The Portuguese were scared to attack us more because they knew we had picked up front. Also, I think when the game opened up in the second half, Otuado made a little bit of errors. I think in our best moments in the game came from Kudos when he hit that run, when he had that run through the middle and hit the straight shot. So I think after that, there was a bit of confidence from the Ghanaian boys that when they go out this Portuguese, they can at least hit them. But when the Portuguese scored, I think in the key moment, Ronaldo was going nowhere. He was absolutely going nowhere. I think the defenders, Saluso of all people should have knew this. He plays in the Premier League. He meets top-notch players every time. He should have knew. Ronaldo was going nowhere. He was literally going nowhere, trying to nick the ball out of him. And you know how these referees deal with players like that caliber. And again, one last thing I have to touch on is Otuado's changes. You don't take out your best players when you're winning. As if he was satisfied.
It was as if he was in a hurry to consolidate the draw. Like I'm in a hurry, quickly get it done. Anyway, Warren, you've been excellent. I'm going to go over to Kafui Day, my good friend. Kafui, how's it?
Yeah, man, Charlie, good evening. Oh, thanks for the invitation to this case.
Good evening. How are you, though?
Charlie, are they just processing the results?
Are you still wearing the Ghana shirt on the show tomorrow?
We wear it on game day. So anytime Black Stars play, we wear it. So, but I'll bring my horn. I'll bring my rattle. I'll make my noise. Yeah. Oh yeah. But I'll wear it every game day. Will wear it. So they better stay with the competition to the end because I want to wear that jersey at least 6 more times. So yeah.
You want to wear it
Um.
as much as. What did you think, though?
Yeah. I felt that we were just kind of doing lateral moves, not enough penetration. And then the people scored. Never mind the controversy about the penalty. Whatever the referee says is the decision. We conceded the penalty, and then I think we equalized. But my rule is you don't celebrate until the game is over. We're celebrating too much. I think I even saw our captain jubilating when their second goal went in. He was still happy. The job is done when the job is done. The job is done when the job is done,
He was
guys.
actually celebrating.
Yes, when the second goal went in, the cameras
Yes.
got him, jubilating, and then he turns around and he sees the ball in the net. And then we go 3-1 down, and then we come to 3-2, and this is a guy doing a celebration. The game is not over. And that's not your celebration, man. Leave Ronaldo to do his own thing. Find your own celebration. Don't even celebrate at that time. Get the ball out of the net quickly and put it on the center circle. And let's go for the third goal. We could have gotten a draw from this game. The only redeeming point is that the other guys had a point each. So we're not far behind them. We're just a point behind them. If we win our next game, now we're doing calculations. If we win. And I don't like that
Take a
territory
nice
of
picture of me.
calculating. I don't like that kind of soccer mathematics. I don't like it. Win
Oh,
your
but
game.
it's still mass, so you've got to do it. It's just the way it
Yeah, you
works.
just have to win. I mean, you have to win. If you're Portugal today, you're not doing soccer mathematics because you got your 3 points. Ugly
Yeah,
3 points, but you got your 3 points. It's ugly, but you got it. You're on the board. We've scored 2
yeah,
goals. First African team to score 2 goals, but still no points. You understand? We are just
yeah.
like Senegal. Senegal didn't even score a goal, and they still get 0 points. We scored 2 goals and still get 0 points. Performance, they should not lose concentration next game, man. We need to win the next game. Otherwise, we're messed up. We're effectively coming home if we lose the second game. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So I think it makes Otto Addo's team talk very simple. Win or go home. That's it.
I hope that he'll find
Hello?
a bit more to say. Let me go to Kofi next. Kofi, you've been on for a while, so please, you can have your say. And then after Kofi, I will
Okay,
come to. I think I'll come to Christian. So Christian, hold on for me, please. Kofi, you can go.
what I can say is we respected the Portuguese right from the start of the game.
Give me the chance.
We should have gone deep on them, but
You thought we gave
we
them too much.
respected them too
Look
much.
for like time for me.
Yeah, we gave them too. But what I want to say is the referee and FIFA are very corrupt. Irrespective of what happened, they are corrupt. That penalty never should have stood. Rafael Leo's goal should have been checked. I think the VAR was brought in to check these mistakes. Why didn't the VAR take a look? The FA should write to FIFA
Nothing will come out of it.
to
Don't
get.
stress yourself. You will get platitudes, but then again, look, this is us who qualified for the next stage of one of the worst penalty calls in history against South Africa. I really don't think we need to beat ourselves up about the penalty call that much. To be
Yeah,
honest with you, in football, what goes around comes around. So you've got to deal with it. You've got to take it on the chin and move on. Anyway, let me go next to Prince. Prince, you've been on for a while, and then after Prince, I will come to Swami. And then I will come to Koje. So, Prince, you can go now.
Thank you very much, Michael. So, firstly, I think the first half we really did well. We actually contained Portugal and really boxed them in. Like our defense and our midfield was really, really good, solid, amazing from Otto. And I think someone was actually blaming Inaki Williams. I don't think the guy did anything wrong because he didn't get the supply that he needed. If the midfield were that solid and were able to feed him with the balls, I really believe that he could have done something for Ghana. But then again, I guess Kudos really did well today. Him and the day for Otoado to take them off. I really don't know what happened, but I guess we can just look at these things, learn from it, and make sure that our next game against South Korea we're able to get a 3 points. I really think that our defense setup and our midfield setup in the first half was really good. We just need to make sure that we're able to feed Inaki Williams. If we play the same formation next time, we have to feed him with the balls. Then he can do his magic for us. Then thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Prince. Thank you for keeping it straight to the point. I said after Prince, you go next, and then after Prince, we will go to Koje. So Koje, hang on a minute for me, please.
Yeah, thank you, Michael. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. My only concern is about Thomas Partey.
Okay, you don't think he showed up today?
He did well. He did for the second half. He really did well. He played very well. His composure was very good. But then Partey has been our talisman for a year now, and the guy is really soft. If you can, he's a midfielder. You should know that he's really soft. Even Sammy did well. I think Sammy really did well more than Partey. He's really soft. You should know that right now he's our leader. It's not even about Andy. It's about Partey, and he's really soft because this guy has been playing with this Ruben Neves, Bernardo in the same league. So he knows their style, he knows everything about them. But then the guy is really soft. But I know Ghana will qualify. I believe Ghana.
You have been, man.
Ghana is qualifying to the next league. A draw to South Korea and a win to Uruguay. Just believe it.
Right. Okay. Let me go to Koje now. Koje.
Yeah, thank you, Michael. Yeah. So, I mean, I know we are not happy about the whole calculation thing, but the kind of group we find ourselves in, to be very honest with you, it's a tough group, and so we'll be looking at doing a lot of calculations if we are being honest.
I always say calculation is part of football. There's a reason there is a table.
Yeah, and I think we are being too hard on Bukhari, to be honest. He's a young chap. How old is he? 22, 23? And I mean, he got a World Cup goal against Portugal. You don't expect him to celebrate that? Come on. I mean, I get that, yeah.
He's joined a rare select few Ghanaian players. Stephen Appiah, Suleiman Tari, Asamoah Gyan, Kevin Prince Boateng, Dede Ayew, Haminu Dramani.
Yeah, and he's a young guy. So, I mean, obviously, he's going to celebrate that moment. It's a big moment for him. That's a big CV highlight for him. So, I mean, he got the goal for us, and that's what's important. It's unfortunate that, Inaki slipped at the last minute, but I think we should look at the way forward and see how best we can, play to beat South Korea. I think that's our best bet right now. Uruguay might be difficult to beat if you are being honest. But
I actually thought when I saw Uruguay, I thought they were beatable. Except that, like we say in Ghana, give me the better time because they play like us, unduly defensive, unwilling to go anywhere.
Exactly.
That would be like a tactical ball fest.
Yeah. But I think we had a good second half. We're just unlucky. I don't think that was a penalty anyway, but it's Ronaldo. So, yeah. Basically, that's all I have to say. Thank you so much, Michael.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Likewise.
Look, everybody said, before this game, no African team has scored in the tournament. No African team. I don't think that's a major plus. It doesn't mean anything. It's bad for the continent that after the first round of matches, no team from the continent has scored. So that's a major problem. In terms of Ghana and opening day records, I mentioned earlier on that the Black Stars have lost 3 of their 4 opening day matches. The only time we've won one was against Serbia, which that year happened to be our best one, and then that game happened to be the only one we would have won in the group. This is pretty much the case as was our tournament in 2006, when we basically had a bad start against the USA, quite similar to this. Too many mistakes, errors, Adute Papu G3 all over, and that was left back as well. In the end, what Coach Ratime Djukovic did was to make some massive calls. Dropped Papu, brought in a new left back, and then he dropped Sami Kufuor off the back of that error and brought in Sheila Iliasu, who went on to play the tournament of his life. So I almost get a sense that Coach Otuado needs to get a bit more drastic. Otherwise, nothing is going to happen. But we are not here to listen to my sermon. Let me go to Edikim, my dear friend, and then afterwards, I will take a few thoughts from some of the guys who were in the stadium, including Delali Frank and Senor Jom, if you got some great pictures. Edikim, go ahead. From Canada, right?
Yes. Thank you very much.
My friend on every social media platform.
I feel that the game as a whole Ghana really played well. During the first half, it was kind of trying to contain the Portuguese and see what we can do on the break. But it seems that this team doesn't have a lot of connection in between them. Like the teamwork is not really there because in the first half, we got some moments where we could break away. We couldn't quite do it. And someone was talking about Partey's performance. I think this, if I'm not, I stand to be corrected, but this is the first time he's playing with Silas together. And in the second
Yes, and
half,
I think in fairness, look, I don't recollect watching Amati Jiku and the rest play together. Inaki has not had a lot of games with the players. So look, there's a lot of synergy to build with this team. At the moment, it's just not there. I think I agree with you on that.
yeah, and also I feel that Dede is always a big time player. Jordan also came in the second half. He showed some brilliant touches on the ball. He did really well. But I feel that Inaki doesn't have enough pace. If you watch him at Atletico, you have more of his brother. The wingers are quite fast. So if Otoado can make drastic calls like you are saying, because the first game in 2006, it was against Italy. We lost that game. Then we went on to beat Czech Republic and beat the USA, and ultimately we lost to Brazil. Looking at the game as a whole in the second half, I feel that the technical team has done really well because you see the positioning of Inaki William. Was a really smart move, but I feel that the midfielders there could not come to his aid, and he also lost his footing a little bit. It's a positive result because going into the tournament, to be frank, our showing at the African Cup of Nations and the matches we've been playing has not been good. But at least today we played well. If Ghana can show at least 80% of this performance against Korea, I feel that we can get something out of it. But the coach needs to make some drastic calls,
Against
like you are
Korea, will be good
saying,
to go.
and try as much as possible to bring in Bukari and the fast players so that they could augment the efforts of William up top. That's all I got to say. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you very much, Addiction. Always an absolute pleasure talking to you. Rich man, you've been on for some time. You've got a chance to speak. After Rich man, I'll go to Foster. Foster, you've been on for a while. And then I'll go to Delali, who was one of the lucky few inside the stadium. Rich man, you can go ahead, please.
Yeah, Mike. That's a quick question. The issue with Thomas Partey, is he a case of he not having a proper synergy with the team, or the guy is just not probably pulling his weight? Because I really doubt, because I think
Oh, I honestly don't think he was that bad, to be honest with you. You have to understand that for the Portuguese, that was the one they will know a lot more attention. I thought the central midfield wasn't that bad, to be honest. So what do you think?
no, because Partey, like on a more serious note, I felt like, because I don't know, because of his team, he's just trying to prevent himself from getting injured or something. I don't know. But I seriously doubt it was because he's not having a proper sense. Because when they started with Kudos, it was the same thing. But then you realize that later he was like putting more effort into the game now. So you realize that he was now getting, along with the team. But with Partey, he felt like he didn't really care. Like, I really don't know. I really doubted that. Like, I really doubted him at a point that this guy was really going to do anything for us on a more serious note. So
I understand. I think it's up to Partey to try to prove that wrong. I think too many times that question is asked of him. I don't think that he doesn't care. I think he deeply cares about Ghana, and I thought he was reasonably good today. But I do think that it speaks to the level of expectation on him that this issue keeps coming up, and it's something that he needs to address as a person, as a player, as quickly as possible. So I do get your point very well.
okay,
Are you done, or there's another point you want to
and
make
then
so that I can move on to the other speakers?
because I think somebody made mention of the fact that if we can write to FIFA and about these treatment we do receive as African countries anytime we are going in for this tournament, and you said it's not going to go anywhere. So when are we going to be able to change these things?
Because I honestly don't think that the officiating was that bad. I mean,
So it's really bad because
look. I keep saying we had one of the worst penalties in the history of football against South Africa. We took it. It ended. They went to Jesus Christ and came back. Nothing happened. I think there was a call to be made by the referee. You could say that Salisu was not smart to make that tackle. A lot of referees won't give it. Some referees will give it. I thought we got away with one ourselves. It's the same thing in the first half. A lot of referees would have given that as a goal. We got lucky with that. That's okay. We are not going to get anything out of it. It's important for us as a country to stop to get out of the siege mentality. The bigger problem, if we want to address a continent-wide issue, is to address how 5 of Africa's best teams are at a tournament and we are celebrating scoring 2 goals.
Okay.
Cameroon lost for the 8th straight time today. Senegal did all they could against Holland. And a bit like us, they were punished for losing concentration in crucial moments. There is something about our mental attitude and our game management in important situations. And I'm just saying it's important that we focus on those things rather than, because we are not going to get anything out of FIFA over this. I don't think this was a case of robbery, to be honest with you.
All right. Okay.
Anyway, thank you very much. It's always nice talking to you. Don't mind me. I like talking a lot. Foster, you've got a floor, please.
Thank you, Mike. I think the first point I want to make, probably before I go to my main point, is the issue of going to FIFA. I agree with you 110% is irrelevant. There are a lot of calls that have
Foster,
been
I
made.
don't know. I think maybe you need to position yourself well because your line is pretty bad.
Oh, is it better?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm saying is that the issue of going to FIFA on the refereeing, I think is absolutely irrelevant. Pardon my English, because like you said, the game is fair. Play well, score. If you have scored any goal and the referee disagrees, then you have a cause. But I mean, that's on the side. I think my main issue is the game plan. The game plan was okay, but once you concede a goal, you cannot still continue with the same game plan. You need to start with your 4. You need to move forward, build your midfield and the attack. Because the game plan, even the counter attack we thought we were going to do, we're not doing it. So we're just relaxed, waiting for whatever that should happen, for some miracle, and then the goal will come. And then the goal came, unfortunately, against us. So we had no choice than to move ahead. And then they got the chance also to penetrate us. And then second, I think the issue of inexperience is also very there. Unfortunately, you can't build it by yourself. There are a lot of the players who are this their first time, so they can only be talked to in situations like this, because it was so evident that when we conceded, and it is so obvious. I'm not a football player, but we watch football matches. Any time you score, that is the most time you are vulnerable, because your mind is so excited that if you are not careful, by the time you realize you are conceding goals. And this comes with experience. So once you have that experience, be able to control yourself, control the team. And I think the players need to be spoken to in that regard. And then thirdly, the substitutes, when they come on, I don't know, they should know that the game is at a critical point. There's no time for warming yourself up into the game. There's some Andrea, I think one of the ball he misplaced that led to a goal. And Chire also did something similar. At the time of where we have been substituted, that's not the time to warm yourself up into the game. The little mistake you do, we are conceding, and the places they were losing the balls were one of those critical.
I thought we lost the ball in too many crucial spaces. That was a
But at
problem.
least those that resulted in goal is what we talk. A lot of them, I'm sure some of us may have forgotten. And Kudus,
Yeah.
I think if not only for the yellow card, that I suspect the coach was trying to
But he
avoid a
wasn't.
double
He was
yellow.
not. He was not. I don't know how to call it. He was not. Kudus was the guy who was getting fouled most of the time. He was the guy. He was the
And
guy
so,
making things happen. He was the
and
guy
so my surprise,
moving forward. He was the guy passing. He was the guy releasing the right crosses. He was the guy doing everything.
that's what I'm saying.
Hey.
So Mike, we are on the same page. My point is that if not because the coach is thinking that Kudus may get a card, I can't understand any plausible reason why you would take Kudus off. I just
Anyway,
can't understand it. Maybe you have to come and explain to us, because
we'll see. I think we'll get a bit more from the press conference. First time, I've got to pick my lady friend, a photographer who was in the stadium, Senior Jim, because she's got to run and
no
make sure that
problem,
she
no
gets
problem,
to
Mike.
see the Brazil game. Senior Jim, how are you?
Hey, I'm fine, thank you. I'm fine, thank
So
you.
you had
I had a
close up.
front row seat, you see,
Yes,
and
you were pitch side basically.
I'm telling you, and you're so right that we're not going to get anything from FIFA. Again, you're so right that we also got so lucky. Listen, I'm going to have a lot of problem posting photos. I'm going to have to really edit, and edit doesn't mean touch up. Edit means not, selecting pictures that should use. If everything was supposed to be that, what should I say? Use vernacular, pepper. Our boys also did some rough things, okay? And
Yeah.
each time my stomach, I'm like, they shouldn't catch. And like you said, kudos,
Where your
man,
hands shaking, please. We need good pictures. We don't need you shaking in the stadium.
challenge. I started chewing gum. That's how I concentrate. I started chewing gum. Then my head hurt. I had to chew gum, to concentrate because I was, this tournament, it's like people have forgotten that Ghana is also a soccer nation. The
Yeah.
whole match, look, it's very embarrassing. You know, I'm happy for this game because if you're here, you will see how Ghana was a total write-off. We were so written off. And when they were referring to the match, they go like, "Are you going to the Portugal game? Are you going to the Portugal game?" Like, they, Ghana, no, they come. Do you get me? So they just thought Portugal was going to come here and just give us some five and go.
Yeah.
And like kudos.
About-
I want to say something. The man who feeds would always get his hands dirty. Okay, he
Yeah.
who feeds, he who farms, always has dirty fingers. So we just have to pray that he develops some crafts of doing it because that's one thing our boys lack. The Western boys, they are not clean either, but they have a very tactical way of hiding that we see it and we're like, didn't the referee really see this? But our boys, as much as we talk for them, they also go too raw, no panache, just going straight at the man. So Charlie, I'm happy for today's, not that because we scored two, that because the whole tournament, like we were total write off. Like people just thought, Cristiano was coming here to give us. You should hear the fans. He was coming here alone, was going to score three, and then everybody
Yeah.
take their fair share
So,
and
by
then
the
they
way, this was your World Cup game number what, Senor Jim?
oh, this is just number 4. This is World Cup number 4. But for this match,
No,
for this
in
tournament,
terms of matches.
in terms of matches, I have 24 matches to cover for group stage. And I think I've done, is it 5 or 6? Yes, so it's been very hectic. And when we're selecting a match before, they told us, oh, you can do 2 matches. Of course, you can do 2 matches, but we're also giving the impression that Qatar is a small place. Doha is a very small country. But Charlie, I've spent like joke just to be able to catch her. I've spent like $1,000 on Uber, like $1,000. My account is empty.
Yeah.
$1,000 on Uber. The places
When the
are
alert
far.
hits, you panic. You can also pay with fiscal cash, card and go
Yeah,
on.
and then the
Anyway,
other thing too is that not the stadium are far, but when
look,
you get to the stadium, it's so
Noella is calling
huge
me.
going round, Charlie. Anyway, so like you said, I've got to run. It was just nice listening to everybody. At least we have some passion. It's not like nobody wants to talk about it. So it's great. Hi to everybody.
All right,
Bye.
enjoy the rest of the game, and we'll be looking out for those great pictures on the images page.
And do share them, retweet.
I will
God
do
bless.
that.
Thank
Delali,
you.
Delali, you were also one of those in the stadium. What was the atmosphere like when Portugal scored at the moment when we thought we were going to equalize?
Yeah, I think everybody was disappointed. A lot of people feel it was a penalty. I think it was because, you don't touch someone in the penalty box. It was a penalty. They scored a penalty. I think a lot of Ghanaians were not happy with that goal. But apart from that, the response was good. Ghana managed to score. And the other thing that happened was when the head coach took John Andrew Ayew and Kudus out. And where I was sitting, yeah, a lot of people did not understand what happened. And you could see, I don't know if the camera picked it, but I was sitting right behind the technical team and I saw Andrew Ayew spending literally 1 minute talking to Ecuador and literally looking for explanation on why he was taken out. But the coach knows best. Ghana just switched off. And I believe one thing that we need to start working on is our concentration level, man. Africa cannot
Yeah,
lose concentration so easily in movement because a
I
lot
agree
of
with you.
things are.
Delali, unfortunately, the line is not great, and I'm about to wrap up, so I'm going to take a
Yeah,
few. I will hit you up on WhatsApp.
yeah, so I'm on my way to the several game, so that's why.
All right, enjoy the Brazil game as well. I know you are trying to catch as many games as possible.
Yeah,
Delali is
yeah,
working
yeah.
as a as a
Interna-
volunteer at the FIFA World Cup at the moment. Verbal, you've got a flow. Kwame, please go ahead.
Yeah, Michael. Thanks, Charlie. My issue is we fielded our 3 best defenders and we considered 3 goals. So that should be a major concern. We always say 3 back, and play the 3 back and we consider 3 goals. So that should be a major concern to us. And my
Okay.
second headache is Bukari. I think that guy should be sent home because you are losing. You score a goal and you run to go and do SU. Like, which mentality do you have? What is it about yourself that you scored? Oh, Masha go World Cup in Team Jimmy, you are going to do SU. Their mentality, for me, Charlie Otto is not playing a game again. My idea was to go. And that's it. Thank you, Michael.
All right, thank you very much. I'm about to wrap up. I think Ebenezer, you've been trying to say something, and then I'll wrap up with Gray. Ebenezer, you've got the
Yeah,
floor.
yeah. All right. Thank you so much for giving the opportunity. Firstly, Ghana did well in this game, but the referee didn't do well. Although, even if you complain they are not going to do anything, but you should remember that this is the FIFA World Cup. Okay, everybody is watching, and we should all know that the referee. I think there's a sense of racism in this game, as a matter of fact. And if Africans are still going to sit there, keep quiet, thinking the ref is not going to do anything, you are still going to be oppressed by them every day,
All right.
because there were a lot of fouls that were unnecessary, that the referee shouldn't have even shown card, and there were a lot of fouls that the referee should have shown card against Portugal, but they didn't do anything.
All right,
They didn't do anything.
motivating
And
our speakers. We move
the
Queen, yes.
substitution by the coach was one way or the other bad, because you can't take the main keys, the main players that were contributing much out, and
Oh.
that also affected our game too.
All right, thank you very much. Gray, I'm going to wrap up with you. You've got to find out word before I sign out of this Qatar with Betway space. Gray.
Thank you so much, Mike. I think that I agree if we are talking about the referee's performance. I don't agree if we are talking about the fact that it's a deliberate attempt by FIFA. I think that it was inconsistency in the decisions, because the same tackles that were going on in the first half are the same tackle that he was open penalty for in the second half. And I think that when there's such inconsistencies, that is why Ghanaians are frustrated. But I understand the frustrations. The boys did their best. Personally, I feel like there were certain things that the mindset was not there. They are still growing. They are still young. It doesn't mean that we are supposed to accept any mediocrity. I think that the coach made a mistake with the substitutions that he made, because I feel like pulling the day off and Kudus off at that time. And what worried me the most was that, you see, he was bringing Bukari on before we actually considered the penalty. And then he drew him back. So meaning that he was taking Kudus off even earlier than we had actually thought of. And for me, that sent a signal to me that there's something that the technical team actually read the game wrong compared to what we were seeing on the other, because Kudus was our best player. And you couldn't take him off at that time because he was the only one who was able to hold on to the ball and drive the ball like we do. But watching the Uruguayan game and the South Korean game, I think that tactically we are in a better space to be able to still win these two matches and still sail through to the next round. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Gray. I think you summed up the way I've been thinking throughout. I watched South Korea, Uruguay this afternoon. I think that game there are two games that we can realistically expect to win. My other worry is that against A-list national teams, we always tend to struggle. So when I say A-list, the peak size. So we've played Germany twice in the World Cup. We've lost one, drawn one. We've played Brazil. We lost 3-0. We played Italy in our first World Cup. We lost by 2-0. We played Portugal at the last World Cup. We lost by 2-1, and we've lost again to them now. It seems as if we basically have a bit of a block in dealing with the highest ranking teams in the world, and we've not managed to do that.